Hey guys, I hope you're all good. If you haven't guessed it already by the still and the title of this video, and if you don't watch our xxxx vlogging channel, then I have an announcement to make. I am currently pregnant with baby number 2, which I'm so happy about. I feel like it's been a very long time coming, so I thought I would do a pregnancy update video. I used to do these back in the day when I first started my original YouTube channel, which then became the xxxx YouTube channel, and they're all still on there. They're really cringe, but I thought it would be nice to do a few similar updates with this baby as well, just because I want to be able to look back on this pregnancy. It's just like a nice way of logging it. It's kind of weird for me to be sat here doing it again, because that's kind of where our whole vlogging channel started. I thought I'd film it in the same place, so I'm just sat in our bedroom in the exact same place that I did all my pregnancy updates before, and I think I'm even wearing the same dress that I wore in a few of my pregnancy updates. It's a good one, it's a stretchy one. Before I go into it, I kind of wanted to address the fact that I don't know how many of these I'm going to do. With Grayson, I did them weekly. With this pregnancy, I am feeling very different because I had a miscarriage before this pregnancy, so I'm still feeling quite nervous about it, and even now sitting down making this video, I feel a little bit like I could be jinxing it, which is completely irrational and stupid, I know, but try telling that to my brain. I'll go into that a little bit more later on. Also, I don't know how much depth I'll go into this time, because I feel like there's a lot more people watching this time. I feel like last time I was so honest about everything. I don't think I could have possibly been more honest. I feel like this pregnancy is completely different to my first pregnancy. Like, it couldn't be any more different. I don't think there's actually any similarities apart from probably one craving, and that's it. I feel like this time as well, I'm gonna say pregnancy signs, like an update you on my pregnancy signs instead of symptoms, because I feel like when I watched a few of my pregnancy videos back from last time, I feel like when I say symptoms, it sounds like pregnancy is an illness, and I just don't think it sounds very nice. So I'm gonna call them signs instead. I feel like that makes more sense. Anyway, so I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of how I found out I was pregnant. So the second half of last year, after I had my miscarriage, I was not feeling great. I went into more depth with this recently in my blog post. I'll link that down below, and where I kind of like talked about how I felt in those few months after having a miscarriage and how obsessed I became with trying to get pregnant and wanting another baby. But I'm not going to talk about it now because it still makes me feel really emotional. So that's why I wrote it all in a blog post, and I felt like I could kind of articulate it the way I wanted to, whereas if I'm sat here I'm just kind of blabbing and not really saying it how I mean it, you know. So for that, like, last half of last year, we were trying. I hate saying we were trying for a baby, it's really gross, but we were. And then it was the month that we decided to completely just stop trying because it was putting too much pressure on everything. It was putting a lot of pressure on our relationship as well, and I was not in a very good place. So we decided to just stop trying and have a break from it for a bit. So we did, and that was the month that I fell pregnant. And it's like what everybody says, the minute you stop trying and you relax, that's when you're going to get pregnant. And it's so annoying when all you want in the world is to be pregnant and people are saying, oh, you just need to relax about it, because you can't. It's like the worst thing that anyone can say to you. So that's when I fell pregnant, and the day I found out, I'd been having loads of headaches, and I don't normally get headaches, like, at all, like, ever. And so I thought, oh, that's a pregnancy symptom, but I didn't want to get my hopes up because I didn't have any other symptoms apart from a slight bit of rage that day. And both Grayson and Steph were really getting on my nerves and making me really angry. You know, when you just don't, like, hormonally feel right, like something feels different, and I thought, I'm gonna go and do a test, even though I know I'm probably gonna be disappointed like I have been for the last few months, but at least then I will know. So I drove to Sainsbury's and I sat on my own in the car park for a little bit because I was just filled with rage. Then I came home and did the test, and I did one of those ones that, it's not the digital one, I just did the basic one that comes up with the lines, because I've been doing the digital ones, but then I read that they only show up as pregnant when you've got like a certain amount of the pregnancy hormone in your body. I don't know if that's accurate, it's just something I read on the internet. So I decided to try the other ones because I thought, oh, if I am, maybe that will show up sooner. So I did one and it came up as a really, really, really faint positive, and I couldn't quite work out if it was or not. So being a girl, I decided not to tell my husband, and I stayed in the bathroom and took a photo of my pee stick and sent it to a couple of my friends, and I was like, do you think this is positive? And they both came back saying, yes, that's definitely positive. So I told Steph, and he didn't have the best reaction. I think it was because he didn't want me to get my hopes up in case it wasn't a positive, or in case we went through the same thing that we went before. So we were both trying to play it really cool. I was actually like physically shaking because I was so shocked. Like, I just didn't think it was going to happen. And yeah, that's how we found out. One of the things I love most about the day that I found out I was pregnant is that I found out on the day that my friend Sammy gave birth to her baby girl. So it's like, I'll always remember that date, and it just makes it feel a bit more special. We kind of had a little chat about it, and we were like, right, we just will try and keep calm about it and not get excited and just see how the next few weeks go, because we didn't want to get our hopes up in case the same thing happened again. But it's really, really hard not to imagine a baby. As soon as you see that positive sign on a test, you feel like you're a mum to another child. You have a baby coming, and it's really hard as a woman to just be like dismissive over that almost. And I struggled quite a lot with that in the first trimester. And moving on to my signs of pregnancy, generally, I'd say in the first trimester, I have felt extremely well. I would say that my first trimester this time has been completely and utterly different to how I was when I was pregnant with Grayson. And I'd say the main difference for me has been mentally. I was very, very down when I was pregnant with Grayson. For the whole time, I felt really, really down. I actually went to a psychiatrist to speak about it, and I think I had like a bout of prenatal depression, and I feel like this time I don't feel like that at all. I feel really, really happy and content and like sickeningly happy. But at the same time, I have suffered so much with anxiety. I was perpetually, is that how you say it? Perpetually? I was perpetually anxious every moment of every single day. And I would go as far to say as that kind of tainted the first 3 months for me, because I couldn't relax. I couldn't let go and enjoy it, even though I was having a really, dare I say it, easy first trimester. I wrote more about the anxiety side of my first trimester in my blog post, which I will link below if anyone is interested to go and read it. But yeah, I felt like a lot of my first trimester was just met with a lot of anxiety and fear, because I felt, since having a pregnancy loss, I felt like I couldn't trust my body this time, and I felt like every day I wondered if I would make it through the day and still be pregnant at the end of the day. It's one of those things, it's completely consuming, and you don't want it to be, but it is. And especially when you love the baby so much already and you want it so badly, you can't help feeling like that. I do feel like it kind of took over for a while, and I feel like a lot of our viewers on the xxxx channel also noticed that I was really distant, really down, kind of withdrawn, and now I can kind of tell you that that was the reason why I couldn't talk about it anywhere, because it was too early to talk about the pregnancy, and I felt like if I did, then I would be jinxing it. And even now, sitting in front of this camera, I feel a little bit like, oh, should I be filming this video? But then I kind of changed my mindset into thinking that if I do lose this baby, I'm going to be completely devastated. However, I try to mentally protect myself. So I may as well just throw myself into the pregnancy and try and enjoy it. As soon as I had my 12-week scan, I just felt like a cloud had been lifted. And I know like things still can go wrong for the rest of the pregnancy. I know that, and I do feel really nervous about that. But I feel like for me, that because we got past the point that we did before, I felt like I could relax a bit, and I can't tell you how nice that feeling was. Anyway, now I've gone on about that for much longer than I said that I would. I'll tell you a few more of the signs that I've had. I'll start with morning sickness, because that's the main thing I guess everyone thinks about when they think of first trimester or just pregnancy in general. I haven't really had lots of morning sickness. I didn't get lots of morning sickness with Grayson either. I've thrown up maybe like 4 or 5 times or something, but the weird thing is I do feel sick, but only when I see certain foods or like if I think about certain foods. Like it's always like mushy things that make me feel sick. Like bananas, cannot go near them, they are like the enemy right now. And the first time I actually was sick was because I'd made dinner for all 3 of us, or 4 of us if you count the little one. I'd made some sweet potato wedges and I'd baked them in the oven, and as soon as I brought them out the oven I just looked at them and I was like, oh god, they're making me feel really sick, and I had to leg it downstairs. The smell of toast strangely has made me feel sick, which was something I kind of relied quite heavily on last time, eating toast, and I just, it makes me feel really gross. Oh, meat. I'm having a really funny like aversion to meat right now. Like normally I love chicken, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about chicken right now, and just meat in general, and fish as well. The smell of fish, ugh. But I am really, really loving fruit and vegetables, which is really bizarre because I did not get that with Grayson. All I wanted to do is eat carbs and cereal. I'm still loving my cereal, but mainly because it fills me up really quickly and I don't have to think about what to eat. I'm mainly loving like apples and kale and like healthy stuff, which is so not like me. So my next 2 signs are so random, and I didn't even know that they could be a sign of pregnancy. And the first one is so random, you guys are gonna be like, what the hell, is an eye twitch. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it because I'm sat quite far away and I'm not even sure if I'm in focus for like the whole of this video, but I've got an eye twitch which is like kind of around here, which is pretty brutal, to be fair. And Steph noticed at first. We were in a meeting and when we came out he was like, oh, are you really tired or something because you've got an eye twitch? And I was like, I didn't think that I was tired or anything. And then we just noticed over the next few days that it just didn't go away, and it just hasn't gone. Sometimes it gets more savage and like brutal and fast, and other times it kind of calms down a bit, but it's still there all the time. And then Steph googled it and it is apparently a sign of pregnancy. I can't remember what the reason for it is. I never knew that before and I was like, that is a weird sign. And the other weird sign I've had, which I didn't expect to get so early on in my pregnancy, is I feel like I've got like a bruised tailbone, and a bit like, I guess like sciatica but without the pain travelling down my leg. It's only come on really in the last couple of weeks and got a bit more severe in the last couple of weeks, and I thought like, where have I fallen over or like sat down funny or something, and I haven't. And I googled it again, which by the way, no pregnant person should ever be able to google anything. Apparently it's something to do with your body releases a hormone to like relax your pelvic area or something, so your tailbone moves. I probably explained that really badly. I'm in no way scientific at all, but I was like, oh, I thought that only happened like much later on in the pregnancy, and I'm kind of hoping that that doesn't get worse as the baby gets bigger, because obviously the baby's still quite small at the moment. Oh, one overshare symptom. I've been very gassy, more like trapped wind in my like ribs, which is actually quite painful. I've had to edit out a few burps and farts from my last 2 or 3 videos. I'm like, oh my god, when's it gonna stop? That's a nice gross sign for you. I haven't really had like any other major pregnancy signs. I've had a couple of headaches here and there, but that's about it really. I feel like it's completely different to my pregnancy with Grayson. Anyway, I think that that is actually it. I think I've probably forgotten something, but that's all the stuff I can remember right now. I'll attempt to show you a little bump shot. Oh, that's one thing actually. I got a bump basically from conception. There's just no hiding this beast. So I'll show you the first trimester. Well, I'm actually in my 2nd trimester now. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Hang on. But like, it probably doesn't look that big on camera. It's a little bit blurry. Sorry about that. But that's my bump at the end of the first trimester. It looks a lot smaller on camera, I think. Sorry, that wasn't the best of bump shots, but you get the idea. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching my little pregnancy update, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!